There is a huge difference in how we operate when we're single versus when we're in a relationship. It's almost like a miner's hat, and you can tweak the lighting on it. So it either hyper focuses a light this way versus it makes the light really wide and you can see like a large space, but you can't see as far, but you can see closer to you. That's what it's like being single. You can see a much wider area, but it doesn't go as far. So what ends up happening is you meet tons of people. There's lots to do. If you're actively trying to meet people, you can go on dates, you can meet lots of friends, you can do a lot of stuff, but it's really hard to go deep into anything. It's really hard to build legacy. It's really hard to stay so hyper focused on one specific thing because there's so many distractions coming at you. When you're in a relationship, you're not as focused on building all those friendships. You're not as focused on dating all these other people. You're content with the other person to go hyper focus. You tweak the miner's light, and now you're hyper focused specifically on what do you want, whether it's kids or it's legacy or it's buying a house or it's making more money or it's whatever it is, taking vacations together, whatever that is, you can hyper focus on it. But both sides, when you're in a relationship, sometimes you miss all that wide stuff that you're not getting. And, when you're single, of course, a lot of times people want to be in a relationship. When you're younger, when you're in your obviously teens, 20s, maybe even your 30s, you're exploring who you are. You're trying to figure out who you are, what you want to do, what you're good at, what you're curious about, what your passions are, what your innate abilities are. So it's probably good to have a wide angle view on the world and to try to explore this and explore that and see what does this work for you? Does that work for you? But when you get a little older, you start thinking about legacy and you start thinking about what lights me up? What gives me meaning? What gives me purpose? And when you want to think that way, it's really hard to have that wide view of the world because you're constantly distracted. It's like, oh, well, I could do this, or I could date this person, well, I could go here, well, I could do this, well, I could do that. It's almost impossible to really concentrate and build a really incredible business or a really incredible nonprofit, the family, the ideal family that you want, or whatever you want. It's much harder to do. People always say when you want a relationship, when you want to bring in that wonderful person into your life, what do you need to do? What's holding you back? And we all know the answer. The answer is us, right? We have to work on ourselves in order to attract that person into our life. But it's more than that. Yes, it's working on yourself. But what does that mean? That means the more you understand yourself, the more self realized you are, and the more independent you are about what it is that makes you come alive, that makes you happy, that brings you meaning in your life, the better able you're going to be to attract the right person. Think about it. If you don't know who you are, you're going to be dating all different types of people. And yeah, it might be fun for a night or two, but in the end, you're not going to deeply connect with that person because you don't know who you are. When you know who you are, when you've realized, when you're expressing the authentic, aligned person that you are, then you will attract that type of person because they can read you now. They can see you. But if you can't even see yourself, how are you going to attract the right person for you? So I'll leave you with this. Do you see who you really are? Because if you don't know who you really are, how is anyone else, including the right person for you, going to see you?